Welcome to the webinar. I'm John Davis. Today you'll learn in 20 minutes how to never outlive your money in retirement. Now, if after the webinar you have further questions, I can be contacted at 847-592-5405 or just email me at john@johntdavis.com. So who is American United Wealth Planning? Well, we're a retirement and estate planning firm. Our mission is to make retirement and estate planning about family again, not just about money. Our company is located at 1900 on Gulf Road in Schaumburg, and we've been serving the community for over 30 years since 1982. We're accredited by both the Better Business Bureau and the National Ethics Association. So I don't think that there's anyone who would argue with this statement. God's greatest gift is our spouse and family. Well, at American United Wealth Planning, we're all about advocating for you and your family. We believe that great things start with a simple conversation. So today we're starting a simple conversation about retirement income and the impact it can have on your spouse and family. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Retirement is a lot more than just income planning. The demand for retirement planning services is growing by leaps and bounds. Have you ever asked yourself why that might be? Well, it's simple. People are living longer. The fastest growing segment of our population are people living to age 100. And because of this fact, looking down the road, whether you're retired or not yet retired, what will the next 20 to 30 years of retirement look like for you? In other words, what's your vision of retirement? Where will you be living? Which family members will be most impacted by the planning decisions that you make today? Will that be your spouse, your children, or your grandchildren? And how will they be impacted? And I don't mean just financially, I mean both financially and emotionally as well. You see, at American United Wealth Planning, what we do for our clients is we build what we call My Family Shield plans. Now, these are designed to provide answers to these really important questions. A My Family Shield plan is a written retirement and estate plan. Now, it covers both your financial as well as your legal responsibilities in retirement. It's basically designed and based on your vision of retirement and tailored to address your specific goals. So what does a My Family plan do for you? Well, it basically gives you control over the types of experiences that both you and your family will get to enjoy in the future. It allows you to remain self-reliant and independent, and it removes the risk of being remembered as a burden, or worse, creating a burden for your family. But what it really means to you is peace of mind. You can quit living in this kind of gray area of wondering whether or not you and your family will ever see your vision of retirement. You'll know for certain because a My Family Shield plan tests all the critical areas of your retirement, from Social Security to income planning to legal documents. We make sure everything works when it's needed the most. This is so important that at American United Wealth Planning, well, we've made Family Shield planning and advocating for you and your family the foundation of our business. So I guess we should start today out by saying congratulations. You've been saving your money in your 401ks and IRAs all of your working life. So if you're looking at this webinar, it's because you're looking to go into retirement in the not too distant future. And it's time for these assets to start providing you with a comfortable retirement income. Well, I got news for you. Today's retirement has become sort of a good news, bad news situation. Let me explain. The good news is that due to modern medical science, we're all living longer. In fact, we're even living healthier. The bad news is that now you're retired and you no longer have a paycheck coming in. So your challenge is to figure out how to make your income and assets last long enough to support your lifestyle for the next 20 to 30 years. That's right, 20 to 30 years. We're all living longer. The big question is, how do you do that? How do you adjust your income for inflation to maintain and not lose your lifestyle over that big period of time? How do you make sure that you never become poor? Well, many are being told to sell off and spend down their IRAs and 401ks by following a 22-year-old strategy that's called the 4% rule. But things have changed. In fact, what we have here is an American college professor who will explain the 4% rule. So let's have him do that.
I'll just go over briefly what the 4% rule means, that a client could spend 4% of their initial retirement portfolio, and then every year increase that spending by the rate of inflation throughout retirement, and withdraw about 4% that first year and safely spend that same amount of money after inflation all the way up to the age of 95. It's a relatively safe assumption at the time that that article was written 22 years ago, but things have changed. So if you have $1 million and you're following the 4% rule, you'll spend $40,000 the first year, and then that'll go up by the rate of inflation. Now, if your portfolio goes down the first year, then let's say by 20%, now you have $800,000, and you have to pull, if inflation is 2.5%, you have to pull $41,000 out of that portfolio. So now you're down to $759,000. If that happens another year in a row, where your portfolio goes down by 20%, now your portfolio has fallen even further, and yet you're still taking maybe $43,000 out of that portfolio. If that happens 3 or 4 years in a row, you may be down to $300,000 or $400,000. So you're going to either have to ramp down your spending significantly, or you're going to jeopardize running out of money at some point in retirement.
Okay, so that's a lot to take in. So let's take a closer look at some of the things outlined in the video. For everyone, retirement starts with how much income you'll need to maintain the lifestyle that you've grown to love. The 4% rule was developed 22 years ago by Wall Street to help you create retirement income. Every year, you're supposed to sell 4% of your 401ks and IRAs. The sale proceeds are then used for retirement income. Now, we're told that 4% is a safe withdrawal rate and that it will be replaced as the market goes up. Now, here's the thing. We like the 4% rule, but we ask, why are we capping off our income at just 4%? What about inflation? What if we need greater income in the future? We need to bring this rule up to date and make it more current. So the 4% rule is a great rule. There are years when you can get more than 4%, and in some years, you can even double your income. What you're looking at here is a historical chart of the S&P 500 reflecting its performance from 1960 through 2018. And for those of you who are not familiar with the S&P 500, this is an index of 500 of America's best and top companies. In order to be listed on this exchange, your company must have at least $5 billion in assets. So these are not small companies. These are not unsecured type companies. They're very solid companies. And even though they're really solid, if you look at their performance, that sort of looks like a mountain range. But it really isn't. What it is it's just a reflection of how the values of their stocks changed over history. So back to the 4% rule. In the late 1980s, if you sold 4% and the market gained 8%, the 4% sold was replaced by the 8% market gain, and you were ahead by 4%. But the fact is that you could have taken 8% out, but you limited your income to only 4%. Now, in the 90s, if you sold 4% and the market gained 15%, well, again, you replaced the 4% sold and you were ahead by 11%, but the fact is you could have taken 15% out. And here's what happens. As long as the market goes up, you're okay. You replace what you sell off and you never outlive your savings. All right. Well, as seen in the video, the problem is the uncertainty in the down market years. Now here, and the professor explained this, is that the 4% rule can actually deplete your wealth. You see, as your securities fall in value during the down market, you have to sell more securities to maintain the 4% income amount. You may actually have to sell twice as many securities to maintain your income, and here's the worst part. After those securities are gone, you no longer own the securities to earn back losses with. So let me give an example of that. Between 2000 and 2002, that's a period of 2 years, the market fell 48%. So if you sold 4% per year and added in the 48% stock value drop, you would have lost 56% of your wealth in only 2 years. And as we said earlier, and the professor pointed out, because the securities are gone, there's nothing to recover with when the market recovers. And it happened again in 2007 and 2008. The market fell 59% in 1 year. If you sold 4% and you added in the 59% stock value drop, that would have been a 63% loss of wealth in 1 year and nothing to recover with. You would have nothing to make the big recovery between 2008 and 2018. There's just nothing there to earn with. Okay, so the 4% is just a rule of thumb to keep you from taking out too much money in the down market years. Now, what if there was a way to get the best of both worlds? Wouldn't that be great? More income in the up market years with automatic loss protection in the down market years so that you never deplete your savings? I mean, we said retirement's going to be 20 to 30 years. You got to have money to get through that. Well, there is a way, and it's called the hedge bucket plan. So are you interested in looking at the hedge bucket plan? I'm sure you are. So here's how the hedge bucket plan works. Everyone has a market bucket of investments. These are your IRAs and 401ks mostly invested in the market. So with the hedge bucket plan, what we do is we create additional sources of income by adding a hedge bucket of market independent assets to complement your bucket of market investments. So what we've done here is we've added a hedge bucket of market independent assets that these assets follow two rules. Number one, they always produce income. They're not negatively impacted by the market no matter what the market does. And that makes a huge difference in your retirement plan. So how does it work when the market's down? Well, when the market is down, you stop selling your market invested assets. So what we're saying here is you keep your IRAs, your 401ks. You never sell them at a loss. You keep your assets, and once you have them, they'll recover in value. So basically, you stop selling. So I know what you're saying. You're saying and you're thinking, well, okay, if I don't get money from the market, where does my income come from? Well, that's where your hedge bucket comes into play. See, instead of selling or taking your income from your hedge bucket assets always produce income and they never lose value. So now what happens when the market comes back? What happens when it recovers? Well, because you still have assets that recovered in value, you can go back to selling. And in fact, instead of capping off your withdrawal rate to just 4%, you can increase your income and match your upmarket gains. And based on market performance, that could be 10%, 15% or more. So if you need more income in retirement, or you want to take a vacation or buy a car, the money will be there. You can take it out of the market in up markets. See, with a hedge bucket plan, you never sell at a loss in down markets. You only sell with gains in up markets. It's really simple to understand. When the market is up, you maximize your income from your investments. When the market is down, you eliminate losses. You take your income from your hedge bucket. Now, here's a big question. How do you know if you need a hedge bucket plan? How do you know if your income will be enough to support your lifestyle over the next 20 to 30 years? Well, the only way to be 100% certain is with a retirement income analysis. Now, at the end of today's webinar, you'll have the opportunity to schedule an appointment to meet with us. What you're going to get when we meet is a retirement income analysis at no cost to you. That's right, no cost. Now, the question you might be asking is, what is a retirement income analysis and what does it do? Well, what it is a review of all your retirement income sources. What it does for you is it tests all of your retirement income sources for the amount of income they'll produce and to see that they'll last as long as you need them, which could be 20 to 30 years. So what it really means for you is you can quit wondering. You can quit wondering if you can afford to retire, whether or not you're going to have the retirement income you need to maintain your present lifestyle, which you love, and avoid outliving your money in retirement. And you know, for a lot of people who come to our office, this is their greatest concern. What you'll know is that we've mathematically tested all of your income sources for you. You'll see all of your income sources and income totals listed on one page. You'll know that your income sources will create enough income and that they'll last for as long as you need them to last. So here's just a snapshot of what a retirement income analysis looks like. And I know there's a lot of numbers there. It can be pretty confusing, but believe me, when I go through this with you, it becomes very, very clear. It's very simple to understand. In fact, you can kind of get the gist of it in the white column there on your right. You could see the total income that you would have coming in. And if one should die before the other, you can see what your surviving spouse would get in terms of income. So you can see in pink that the lady would get a certain amount, and you can see in blue what the gentleman would get. So that's just kind of a snapshot. And of course, I do these for clients, and then I email the report to you so that you always have it. You're never at a loss. Again, what this means is peace of mind with proven retirement income. Finally, you're able to put your retirement income concerns behind you. Imagine a stress-free retirement where the focus is on doing the things you look forward to doing the things you love. Imagine what that'll look like. Okay, so here's the key to all this. Remember that while money is important, life is not just about money. It's about the quality of life and time that you get to spend and enjoy with your family. Maybe you feel an ethical responsibility to plan your retirement for the sake of your spouse and family. I totally get that. Most of our clients feel that way too. Maybe you just want a second opinion on the great things that you're already doing, but you simply want to know where you stand. Well, you'll know for certain with a free retirement income analysis. So while 20 to 30 years of retirement is a long time, the good news is that I'm here to help. I donate an hour of my time just to answer questions. Download the Retirement Success Information Kit. It's basically a PDF file. Once you open it, you'll find that on the first page in the kit, there's a link to our contact page on our website. Just pick a time and day to meet and schedule an appointment, and I'll take care of the details. So thank you for coming. I hope we did this in 20 minutes or less, and I hope you got a lot out of this. I really look forward to meeting with you. The fact is everyone deserves an excellent retirement. And again, if you have further questions and you would like additional information, I can be contacted at 847-592-5405. Email me at john@johntdavis.com or visit us on the web at AmericanUnitedWealthPlanning.com. Thank you for coming and have a great day.